Hey folks, it's me, Bernie Shung, back for another edition of Shin Kicking Mondays. Today, it's gloomy out there. Of course, as luck would have it, I come back from my vacation in Portland, Oregon, and I come back to this rainy weather here in Wisconsin. But I won't complain. It's a very nice and warm day, a little humid, but much, much better than the very, very harsh cold winters that we had here. You people in the Midwest know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, this week we don't have a question. I am actually going to fly solo. There are a few things that are on my mind, and there's a few things I want to share that I feel like I may have not been doing that great of a job doing. So, that being said, I'm going to use today's Shin Kicking Monday segment to highlight all of you who have really touched me, who have really helped and supported me throughout the past, several months, if not more than a year, when I started doing the blog, the newsletter, and the podcast. And many of you have been with me for all that time. Some of you are new, but either way, I'm so grateful, you guys. I'm so grateful for everybody who has joined me now and who has been around since the beginning when I started all of this. I can't say necessarily that I'm nervous, but this is going to be quite out of my element. I haven't talked like this for a while, but today something very peculiar happened. And it stirred up something in me that I think I've been suppressing or holding in for quite some time, and I wanted to make sure I addressed it while it was still fresh and on my mind and in my heart, because I always try my best to be transparent and honest with all of you, and I felt like if there's a place for me to peel back the layers and for me to really purge the truth, in addition to the book that I'm working on, as many of you have been reviewing and giving me feedback, thank you very much. I need to continue to keep being honest and transparent. And this morning, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but I went to my doctor appointment, which there's nothing wrong with me. I was just doing a routine checkup. It's been a while since I've seen the doctor. And one of the first questions she asked me, and it was just a regular, primary care thing. She said, "Is there anything that you want to talk about today? Anything that you're concerned about?" And I was expecting just to go in and do the regular checkup, see how my health is, see if she, has any issues with my blood pressure, my cholesterol, anything like that. And I was really shocked because it's not often that I get a doctor who ends up saying to you, "Is there anything specific that you want to address today? Is there anything specific you'd like to talk about?" And so I kind of made something up. I'm sure many of you have gone through this experience before. And I said, "Well, there's not anything really wrong. I feel fairly healthy." I said, "I guess if there's anything, I've gained a little weight over the last 18 months, and, maybe we'll look into that. Maybe, you can let me know if it's just normal and I just need to have a better diet. Maybe I need to exercise more, but, I'm not concerned there's anything physically or medically wrong with me, but, let's go ahead and check it out anyway." And she said, then the next follow-up question was, "Is there any reason for you to believe that you may have any, medical or health issues related to this weight gain?" And I said, "Not really. I mean, for the most part, I know why it happened. It was about 18 months ago. And so right now I just need to get better at the nutrition. I need to get more active and, exercise again. But, I know exactly where the weight gain came from." And so she asked me the follow-up question after that. And she said, "So what is causing the weight gain?" And then in that moment, I thought about my response to her. I was thinking about how I wanted to explain it to her. It's so funny because a lot of the times people have the tendency to think that when someone else is dealing with a very personal situation, they're afraid to ask a question because they're not sure how uncomfortable the recipient of that question is going to be. And in my case, I was the recipient of the question, and I wasn't sure how my doctor was going to respond to my answer that, "Oh, by the way, my ex-husband has been alienating me from my son, and since then, I've noticed that's when the weight, came on." And so I just basically said to her in so many words, "Well, 18 months ago, my ex-husband has alienated me from my son. I haven't talked to him since." And I started getting choked up. And she could see that, and she was really good. And she said, "Did you want to talk about that?" The next thing you know, I'm bawling. Okay, mind you, I've been pretty good the last couple of months that I've been writing, and I've been purging myself through my book and the coaching and the weekly check-ins with all of you through the newsletter and the blog and whatnot. And in that moment, I'm talking to a complete stranger who knows nothing of me, and me hearing myself respond to her about the story of my life as it is told to her from the outside looking in, I realized how sad I felt for me, the person delivering that information. To hear myself say it, but then hear myself as a third party objective person listening to those words come out of my mouth as I explained to my doctor, yes, I've been alienated from my son for the last 18 months. That's why I believe I have not been as healthy as I'd like to, and I believe that's why I gained weight. I just started bawling. And the tears just came rolling out, and the emotion was really getting to me. I was getting really choked up. I was holding back, the pain. And there wasn't anything specific that came to mind when I was emotionally reacting this way. I believe it was, again, just having my shit together and coaching people day in and day out, week in and week out for the past 6+ years that I've been doing this, but specifically for the past 18 months since I've been alienated from my son. My therapy was helping other people. And my therapy has been sharing my story with everybody else about what's been happening, both in here and in here. But hearing myself say those words out loud to a complete stranger really got me. It really touched me in a way that helped me to realize that what I'm dealing with is much greater than a person can deal with alone. And I believe that's why I have reached out to all of you online as a support system to help me get through it. And how I've reached out online to all of you to get through my pain is to help you get through your pain. And with that said, she asked me a few more follow-up questions, and I'll just cut to the chase. She basically was saying, are you concerned? I mean, do you think you need to talk to somebody? Do you think you need to go anywhere? Is the depression acting up? She asked me all these follow-up questions, and I said to her, I go, quite frankly, I mean, other than me crying right here to you, I said, I'm very happy, and I'm very content, and I'm very proud of the things that I've been working on, and I'm very happy with the circle of influence I've surrounded myself with, both online and offline. And I honestly, truly feel like I'm blessed. And I don't know where these tears are coming from, is kind of what I said to her. And she responded really quickly, and she was fantastic. She said, well, of course. You haven't been able to talk to your son. What mother wouldn't have emotions about that? What mother wouldn't feel hurt or sad by that? She said, that's natural. A good mother cares about that stuff. So of course you'd react the way you do. And so anyway, while I was having this whole scenario play out with my doctor, which, by the way, I was just trying to go in and see the doctor. It's been over a year. I had to get some of my prescriptions renewed so I can get refills and some of my regular, medications. And this is what came out of it. And I'm so glad it happened, because what it told me was I was still holding so much in, emotionally. I'm emotionally keeping my shit together, that sometimes I forget to let myself just release and to just be and to just cry and to just respond and react the way I need to, because it's human nature to be hurt. It's human nature to be sad. It's human nature to worry. It's human nature to have these feelings that are hard to put into words and are hard to communicate without physically purging yourself through crying or whatever it ends up being, however you respond to it. And I don't cry often, and I'm not saying I'm proud of that, but I don't cry often. But when I do, it is such a release, because in the 40 minutes that I was at the doctor's office today, I have come to so many different conclusions and realizations, and it's so beautiful. She asked me a follow-up question, and she said, what have you been doing to deal with this alienation? And I said a lot of things. And I said, for, over the past 18 months, I've gotten involved in a lot of different philanthropic projects. I've been purging my heart through writing. I'm authoring a book right now. I coach and consult people on a regular basis. I connect to people who are doing great things around the world to see how I can help them. I said I spend time with my family, whom I love dearly. I try to travel when I have, the possible time to do that. I walk the dogs on a pretty consistent basis. I said I just feel, very active, even though I may not be as physically active as I was in 2012 when I was like exercising pretty much every single day, and I was at, the best weight, and not just, I'm not talking here just about weight, but I definitely weighed less, and my body was more fit and healthy and toned. And I told her that the things that have changed the most happened after the alienation. And I have been home more. I have been a hermit more. I have been less active. I haven't been working out with my trainer, obviously because I don't live in the Milwaukee area anymore where he is. I have been less active as I'd like to be. And I said, so I know exactly where the weight gain is coming from. I know exactly where some of the health issues may be coming from. And I think the biggest thing for me is just now realizing it, 18 months later, that the way I've been doing it is great emotionally, but I can't neglect my physical health either, because my physical health is starting to weigh on me now. And she said, what are some of these things that you were specifically doing? Like, what kind of activities do you do other than writing? And I said, well, I've got a weekly podcast. I write in a newsletter. I said I helped do a bunch of fundraising projects where we built a windmill in Kenya. I said we built a coffee house in my parents' home country of Laos. I helped a friend raise funds and awareness for suicide prevention and depression. I'm finishing this book that I'm authoring. And she said, what's it about? And I said, it's about finding your voice and standing out in the world, not being afraid to speak up and speak out. And she said, that's fantastic. She's like, you don't seem to have a problem with motivation at all. And I said, thank you so much for saying that. Because despite what's going on in my personal life, I definitely have continued to have the passion and this purpose to just keep going out into the world and making a difference and do good. And I said, I wholeheartedly believe that it started out as an ego thing. I think when I first started doing this good work, I think it was because I felt that I needed to prove myself to the people who were telling me that what I was doing wasn't good enough, that I wasn't a good enough mother, that I wasn't a good enough ex-wife, that I wasn't a good enough co-parent, that I wasn't a good enough, whatever it is. And so my ego was telling me the only way that I could prove that I was good enough was to go out and do really good work, even if it meant sacrificing my time, my energy, my resources, my own health, which nobody ever told me that. I think that just kind of happens in the process of when you neglect yourself or when you put a lot of other people first before you, and you carry on a lot of burden. And she said, do you think that everything that you did played out in manifesting the physical issues that you're having today? And I said, absolutely, I know it. And so she said, well, I don't believe you have any issues with motivation, so I'm not concerned there. We'll just do some lab work, and hopefully your thyroid's okay, and let's see if you have any other medical issues, and if not, we'll just go ahead and put you on a nutritional and exercise regimen, and I think you'll be good to go. And during that time, I had a lot of time to reflect while I was in the waiting room, and thinking about what she said. She said, you don't have a problem with motivation. Wow, it seems like you've been busy. You've been doing a lot of stuff over the past 18 months. She's like, good for you. And it made me feel really good, because I know that I've been doing stuff. I know I've been helping people. I know that I have been making an impact, and I know many of you have even told me how much of an impact and how supportive and helpful I've been to you. but hearing it from somebody who has no idea of really what I've been through, they haven't really been following my journey, they don't really know anything about me, and there really is no incentive for them to say anything real positive, unless it's just in their nature to be nice. Hearing that relayed back to me that, wow, okay, you've been through all this stuff and you still went and did all this great work, and wow, you're motivated, and wow, good for you. It completely reminded me just how thankful I am for every single one of you. Seriously, I mean, like, I know I put on this strong exterior, right? This girl who's tough, she kicks shins and she coaches people, and she's got no BS attitude. But I'll be honest with you, I'm probably one of the most sensitive people in my circle that I've ever met. But I put on this tough exterior because I kind of have to. It's not fake. It's just I just naturally go into like this mama bear mode. Thanks, John Wilkening, for that title. But I do. I go in this mama bear mode where I feel the need to protect my bears and to kind of like stand up and be the leader. And when you are in that position and you want to be tough and you want to be strong and you want to care for the people around you, you don't have time to worry about yourself. You don't have time to cry. You don't have time to be scared. You just go into this like warrior mode. And I believe that's where I've been for 18 months now, plus, right? 18 plus months. And recently I've realized that no matter how strong and how warrior-like I am, I really honestly don't believe I would be this strong of a leader and this good of a person if I didn't have all of you who have supported me and loved me and just really shown me so much compassion and care and consideration, respect. There's a few of you I want to talk about. There's so many of you, but there's a few of you that come to mind specifically, and I have stuff in front of me here that I keep. You may not know this, but I keep it somewhere where I can see it every single day to remind me that there are people watching. There are people who care, and there are people who need me just as much as I need them. I seriously need you guys just as much as you need me. So if you're here, if you're listening to this, thank you, every single one of you. I may be giving you shin kicking Mondays, but it's coming back to me. It's being reciprocated by every single one of you. I love you guys to death, seriously. I wouldn't be able to do this work. I wouldn't be able to feel this fulfilled. I wouldn't be able to overcome some of these difficult challenges. I wouldn't be able to walk out of that doctor's office and just relish in how amazing my life is, despite how sucky and tough things have been, not being able to talk to my son, because I have people like you to just love and support me all the way through. So with that, one by one, I'm going to thank many of you, and if I miss anybody, I apologize. Firstly, there's this card from Africa. And as you can see, there are bracelets. Here we go. And when we replay the audio, you won't be able to see this. Maybe I can attach some photos. But this is a card from Africa, and these are some bracelets that were actually handmade in Africa. And I received this from Misfit Inc. AJ Leon, Melissa Leon, and Jesse White. When you guys spearheaded the Good Misfit Project last summer, June of 2013, 30 of us banded together to help each other fundraise for the windmill that was eventually built in the Kenyan village of Gambela. And I received this gorgeous card that I wasn't expecting, with a really nice note in there, little feathers. It's a misfit thing. And these two beautiful, gorgeous bracelets. And it was just the most, beautiful thing to be able to know that the work that I put into for that 30 days that we banded together to raise funds for the windmill. I believe we were trying to raise 15,000, and we raised over 21,000 together as 30 individual fundraisers. It was so beautiful to be able to know that from the comfort of my own home, I was able to make a difference all the way across the globe in a completely different country that I may not, hopefully I've got my fingers crossed that maybe someday I will, but that I may not ever venture out to, that I may not ever get to meet those people in that village. But we helped an entire village to get a windmill, to help them graduate from their sustainable project in which they'll have the crops irrigated all year because of the water and the energy that the windmill will bring to that that Kenyan village, and I'm so grateful and so thankful to be a part of something like that. It's hard to be sad about personal things that happen to you. It's when you're hearing about these bigger, greater issues all around the globe that you wish you had the money and the energy and the resources to go and fix, like that. But when you don't, it feels so good to be able to know that even the small difference you can make made the world of a difference to an entire village, right? So it's easy for me to sit here and worry about my own personal issues with my son, who seems to be okay with his dad, and again, he for whatever reason is just being influenced to not talk to me at this time. um, but there are bigger issues than that, and I have faith and hope and trust that someday my son and I will be reunited and everything will be okay and we'll be together again. But until then, I'm going to be constructive. I'm going to do my best to make a difference in the world. And there's really nothing that's stopping me from doing that but myself. And if I believe I have the ability, the time, and the responsibility to do it, and the resources, obviously, then I will. And thank you, Misfit Inc. Thank you, AJ, Melissa, and Jesse, for helping me to facilitate that kind of a social philanthropic change in the world, and to be able to make a dent in this universe during one of the darkest and difficult times in my life. Another person I want to say thank you to is Dawn Casey Rowe, who made me this gorgeous mug for my birthday. She knew it was my birthday, and so she sent it to me in December, and she shipped it along with goat milk soap. So Dawn, I have to also thank you for that. I'm addicted to goat milk soap now. Anyway, I've been using it so much that the writing is starting to go away, but this is a poem by Rumi. It says, "You are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the mighty ocean in the..." The word is gone. The word is gone. I don't know what the last word is, so whoever knows the Rumi quote or poem, please, help me out here. Beautiful, beautiful mug. Thank you for that. Dawn Casey Rowe, you are absolutely amazing. I enjoy getting your random Facebook messages and all the support and love that you show me. You guys check out her writing. She is an amazing writer. She's over at cafecasey.com, and that's CASEY for Casey. cafecasey.com, great writer. And in case many of you don't know the Leons, for the first card that I showed here, Misfit Inc., you can go to pursuitofeverything.com to find AJ's ramblings. He's an amazing writer as well, and in fact, he's actually writing the foreword for my book that will be coming out at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. Another person who I want to shout out to just sent me a postcard in the mail, and it just got to me today. I was on vacation, so actually I think I would have gotten this earlier, but because I was on vacation, my mail just got all delivered today. It's from John Wilkening. Look at this beauty. It's gorgeous. He sends me this random postcard, and he said, to Bernie Mama Bear Shung. And I don't think you can see it, but it's this gorgeous picture, and the billboard says, "Live Fearless." And, John is somebody who has really touched my life quite a bit, quite profoundly within the last few months that I've gotten to know him. He's always, always chiming in, always staying in touch, always sharing, always being helpful, asking great questions, getting involved, signing up for things, retweeting, resharing. And on top of being such a great community member, he is absolutely talented. His photography and his writing is just, wow, something else, something very special. Seriously, you guys got to check him out, johnwilkening.com. He actually was featured in a previous episode of Shin Kicking Mondays. I don't remember exactly which one it was. It might have been 2 ago, but just check him out, John Wilkening. That's JONWILKENING. John, thank you for the freaking amazing postcard and all that you do. John is seriously an amazing tribe member, and I'm so happy to be connected to him about 3-4 different ways. So you ain't going nowhere, man. You are my bud for life. So thank you for that, John. Another person I want to mention who has cheered me up on days when I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to be on Twitter, but I have to be to see her stuff. Sarah Steenland, my donkey for life. She sends this to me like out of the blue, mails it to me all the way from Australia, and it's a card. And we've got this little running joke going on, donkeys for life, where she doodles little pictures of donkeys and has like little captions with it. And she made a life coach donkey for me once, and it's kind of graphic. So if you have little children nearby, close their ears for a second. But she drew a life coach donkey for me one time, and the life coach had camel toe. So embarrassed to even talk about it, but it was the most freaking hilarious doodle I've seen in a long time. This donkey wearing this t-shirt and like this Richard Simmons bandana thingy, whatever, and he's wearing spandex and he's got camel toe, and I'm like, where the hell does that come from? But Sarah Steenland is absolutely an amazing doodler. She's such an amazing illustrator. And she's so freaking clever and witty with her comic strips. And I bought a few cards from her to send to clients and friends of mine. And she made their day. I mean, like, she seriously is so clever and so smart. So check out Sarah. She just cracks me up. She makes me laugh so hard. Right now, she is like the key illustrator at Unmistakable Creative with Srini Rao. And she doodles all of his artwork for his podcast and all over his website, but she doodled a few things for me too, and it's on my website as well. But check out Sarah. She's so cool. sarahsteenland.com, and that's SARAH Steenland.com. I have some of the most artistic and creative mofo friends, I tell you. Anyway, okay, thank you, Sarah. Another friend of mine, she's not really online as much, but she's an in real life friend that I've known for quite a few years. And I want to thank you, August Marie Ball. She sent me this cute little handmade card. She's very crafty. She's actually getting married in September of this year. I'm so excited. She found the love of her life. We were friends around the time that we had ex-boyfriends who like totally just, were not the best boyfriends when we were in relationships, and so we got through that time together, and we were a little doubtful whether we could find love again or whether we wanted to find love again. And she is just absolutely an amazing human being inside and out, and she happened to just find the love of her life at a karaoke bar one day because she loves to sing. And lo and behold, he became the one, and they're getting hitched, and I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. She's always been somebody who exudes this level of compassion and love for people in general, but she loves taking care of and helping the youth. And I'm inspired by how thoughtful and compassionate and sentimental she is. And so, August, if you're listening, I love you, girl. I miss you. I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't lived in Milwaukee for going on 2 years now. I think it's actually a 2-year anniversary now, but I just feel like it was yesterday since I've seen and hung out with these people, and I just absolutely love and adore my friends, both in real life and online. I know there's many more of you, but I just I can't tell you enough how thankful I am for every single one of you, new and old, in real life or online. Again, without all of you, it would be hard for me to show up every week and to keep giving and to keep helping and to keep wanting to be supportive and to keep wanting to make a difference. And it's so easy to do it when you're surrounded by people who are doing some really amazing shit all over the world, people who are so creative, so artistic, so helpful, so supportive, such good-hearted people. It's hard not to want to compete with that. And I don't mean compete like in a, hey, it's me against you, and I'm trying to take your people, but like a compete with, hey, look what you're up to. Oh my God, that's so cool. I want to go do that too. I get to have friends like that, and it's unbelievably humbling to know that I'm in the company of all of you fine people. And back to the doctor appointment I had this morning, where I cried for a few minutes there. I think some of those tears may have also been tears of gratitude and relief and joy, because despite how difficult things have been for me, not being able to talk to or see my son for nearly 18 months, it has been so absolutely fulfilling to know the abundance of love I have around me. Seriously, don't take that for granted, you guys. If there's anything I want you guys to take away today from Shin Kicking Mondays, it is really show gratitude and have gratitude for the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you choose to surround yourself with, because if it wasn't for them, I think life would be less colorful. I think life would be more boring. I think life would be maybe a little too easy, a little too mundane. Um, and I think that surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, who help you to grow, who are objective listeners, who stimulate creativity in you, right? Who challenge the status quo and who urge you to think outside the box and are doing great things in the world, being great people, and just doing it for the sheer sake of doing good work and leaving their mark in this world and contributing to a better society and world that we live in. I think that it's times like that that my tears of joy and my tears of gratitude come from knowing that I have made a really good decision choosing this unconventional path of being a coach, of being an entrepreneur, of being a misfit, a small army gal, a world dominator, a brave bear, a freak, a weirdo, somebody who it's not easy to explain what I do, but it's so easy to understand why I do it. And it's because of people like all of you who join me every week here on Shin Kicking Mondays, on the Shut Up Show, at bernieshung.com, on my weekly newsletter, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever we are. You guys just absolutely make it easy to want to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep digging my heels in this corner of the world that we're in, and to keep making a positive impact and a positive difference in the world. So thank every single one of you. I hope that if there's somebody who makes you feel that way, if there is something you haven't yet said to show gratitude or your thanks and appreciation for the things that they do or say to help and support you, or just, through their sheer inspiration of just being there, please tell somebody, at least one person today, tell them how thankful you are and show them that gratitude right back, reciprocate that care. Again, thank you, August and Sarah Steenlin and John Wilkening and Dawn Casey Rowe and AJ Melissa Leon and Jesse White. And I feel like I've missed some people, but all of you amazing people, you really, really positively impact me and have changed my life. And because you are here, it makes it so easy for me to keep showing up and to keep doing the good work that I do. So with that, please keep being brave and keep bringing your work to the world. It's needed. It's wanted. You matter. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, every single one of you. All right, guys. Check you guys out next week on another Shin Kicking Monday. Remember, join us live at noon U.S. Central Time. You can go to bernieshung.com/live to check out the replay, or to watch the show live on Mondays at noon, or to simply leave a comment if you have a comment to make, or a question if you want your question featured next week or in future episodes. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a lovely week. It is Small Business Week, so have a lovely Small Business Week. Hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. Peace out.